Hey, what's going on, everyone? Welcome back to another video. Welcome back to the channel. First of all, I want to thank everyone who has taken the time out of their schedules to check out the other videos that we're putting out. Certainly appreciate your support. If you've checked out those videos and you haven't already, please hit those thumbs up on those videos and please consider subscribing. Today we're going to talk about the disaster that took place regarding the Ocean Gate submarine that unfortunately we just found out recently that was lost as it made its way down toward taking a tour of the Titanic, some 400 miles out in the North Atlantic. A lot of people have been commenting on this story, a lot of more notable folks like James Cameron. So today we're going to talk a little bit about James Cameron's comments regarding the Ocean Gate and his experience with dealing with some of the folks who run this organization. So with that said, let's get right into it. Let me get you pulled up here, and let's go. Sorry about the delay, guys. I'm in a different setup here since I'm traveling.
Ocean Gate shouldn't have been doing what it was doing. I think that's pretty clear. I wish I had been more vocal about that, but I think I was unaware that they weren't certified. Because I wasn't really studying it. I wasn't really interested. Stockton Rush asked me if I wanted to go out there and dive this season.
I believe Stockton Rush was the founder.
I wasn't interested. There was a lot of concern about this outfit and this sub. A lot of concern, even to the extent that I wasn't involved in it because I was making Avatar 2 at the time, but a lot of them got together and wrote a letter to Ocean Gate and said, you have to certify. You cannot take people down. It's irresponsible.
So apparently this organization wasn't even certified to be taking people on these types of tours 2 miles below the surface to Titanic. Does anybody know in the comments what the process is to get a submarine certified for, tours, something similar to this? If you do, leave that down in the comments section. We definitely appreciate that.
And it could lead to catastrophe. Monday morning, when I first found out about the incident, got on a whole bunch of calls and emails. It's a small community. Within an hour and a half, I had the following information. They were on descent. They were at 3,500 feet. They lost comms and tracking.
Yeah,
the last one being the critical one. They were done
probably at that point.
Because the transponder that's used to track a sub during descent and on the bottom is a fully autonomous system. It's in its own pressure housing, and it has its own battery power. So for them to lose comms and tracking at the same time, sub was gone. There was no question in my mind. For days, I tried to run other scenarios that could account for it.
So then that kind of leads to the question, that leads to more questions like why was the news media and the people who were conducting these search and rescues misleading people that there was a possibility that these folks could have survived?
I could come up with nothing. So the next thing I did was contacted a few more people and managed to track down. There are acoustic networks around. Some are research, some are intelligence. We got confirmation within an hour that there had been a loud bang at the same time that that comms were lost. A loud bang on the hydrophones, loss of transducer or transponder.
With that being said, I actually, after this video, I want to go through a Wall Street Journal article that talks a little bit about this particular claim that there was a loud bang heard days ago. So we're going to talk a little bit about that as well.
Loss of comms. I knew what happened. Sub imploded. I sent emails to everybody I know. I said, we've lost some friends. The sub has imploded. It's on the bottom in pieces right now. I sent that out Monday morning. I never believed in that technology of wound carbon fiber, wound filament, cylindrical hull. I thought it was a horrible idea. I wish I'd spoken up, but I assumed somebody was smarter than me, because I'd never experimented with that technology, but it just sounded bad on its face because we make pressure hulls out of contiguous material, steel, titanium, ceramic, acrylic, And so you can model it. You can do finite element analysis of it, and you understand the yield properties. You understand the number of cycles that it can take. Um, but you can't do that with a composite material because it's two dissimilar materials, sort of bonded together. And so we all knew that the danger was delamination and progressive failure over time with microscopic water ingress and fatigue, what they call cycling fatigue. And we knew that if the sub passed its pressure test, it wasn't going to fail on the first dive. It might fail on dive 7, or I don't know what they're at, but it's going to fail over time, which is insidious. You don't get that with steel or with titanium. Mm-hmm. Now there's one wreck lying next to the other wreck for the same damn reason.
Wow, and talk about like the irony too. I was listening somewhere where they had talked about how the Titanic ultimately met its demise, and how the captain of the Titanic ignored warnings uh, that there was a field of icebergs ahead, and they went ahead and pursued that ice field anyway, which ultimately led to the Titanic striking the iceberg and ultimately sinking. Similar situation here. This organization was warned repeatedly that um, that the types of materials used to create this submarine wasn't going to hold up over time, which is unfortunate now because now you have folks who have lost their lives, and they're right there, like James Cameron said, right there at the bottom with the other folks who have lost their lives during the Titanic. But during the video, James Cameron actually made a claim. He said, "Hey, listen, there was a bang not long after this submarine made its descent into the water, which we necessarily didn't hear from the news media. So I want to draw your attention here to a Wall Street Journal article that was posted not that long ago, and it said the U.S. Navy heard what believed was a Titan explosion days ago. Underwater microphones designed to spot enemy submarines first detected the Titan tragedy. So this was posted on the 22nd, which was yesterday around 7:15 p.m. And the article reads, the top secret military acoustic detection system designed to spot enemy submarines first heard that the U.S. Navy suspected that the Titan submersible implosion hours after the submersible began its voyage. The Navy began listening for Titan almost as soon as the sub lost communications. So it sounds to me that they knew almost immediately that this submarine was in danger almost immediately. Let's continue to read. While the Navy couldn't say definitively that sound came from the Titan, the discovery played a role in narrowing the scope of the search for the vessel before its debris was discovered on Thursday. The U.S. Navy conducted analysis of acoustic data and detected an anomaly consistent with the implosion or explosion in the general vicinity of where the Titan submersible was operating when the communications were lost. While not definitive, this information was immediately shared with the incident commander, who was to assist with the ongoing search and rescue mission. Officials decided to continue their mission as a search and rescue to make every effort to save lives on board. Yeah, but if they were down that far, the pressure alone would have killed them, which ultimately did kill them. And you're down that far. It's not like if God forbid the thing exploded and blew apart and there was a survivor. I mean, that's a hell of a feat to swim all the way back up to the surface. So they were doomed from the beginning. The Navy asked that specific system not to be named, citing national security concerns. It is normally used to detect enemy submarines. I guess what they use to determine, I guess, those echoes or microphones are a matter of national security. The U.S. Navy typically deals with foreign threats using military capabilities. U.S. Coast Guard typically carries out search and rescue operations and handles other matters directly related to security of the country. The two services often operate together due to their mutual maritime missions. The search for the Titan was conducted roughly 900 miles off the coast of Massachusetts. So I'm not going to go into the rest of this, but you can see based on the article that this really wasn't a search and rescue mission from the beginning. I feel that the media was kind of misleading folks that there was potentially hope for these folks to survive. Unfortunately, it looks like these folks were doomed from the very beginning. But I want to know what you all think of this. If you can let me know down in the description your thoughts on this tragedy. Again, this is a very sad time for those families. And personally, I think anybody who was involved in this from the Ocean Gate perspective should be held criminally accountable for this. Again, they weren't certified. They knew that the materials that were being used were potentially going to fail over time, and they went ahead and decided to move forward with these tours anyway. So again, I want to know what your thoughts are. Please leave a comment down below. If you enjoyed this content, please feel free to subscribe. We certainly appreciate you. And if you like this video, please go ahead and give us a thumbs up. Other than that, we'll see you in the next one.